a part of something and you don't realize how big it's going to be in your life and how it could change things for you completely. That song changed the game for me, and I would have never known it when we first did it.
Well, Kandi, like I said, I absolutely love the show. It is so much fun. So what made you want to bring Old Lady Gang to the forefront and to highlight the restaurant and the crew that works there?
Honestly, it was Todd's idea. He was the one who came up with the idea to do the restaurant. And then as he was doing it and we started hiring people, he was like, we should really do a show about this restaurant because the people that work there are so over the top. They need to be on TV.
They definitely do. But I love the show because it's almost like kind of like a Vanderpump Rules meets like Restaurant Impossible, because like things are like, starting to like fall through the cracks a little bit, right? At the beginning of the season. And you're kind of like trying to figure out, the missing pieces and trying to put things back together.
Yes. Well, overall, I just kind of feel like, restaurant industry is hard, right? And so we went through a real seriously bad moment in these last 2 years because, we've been losing a lot of employees and people start getting comfortable doing whatever they wanted to do. So I had to bring in a guy named Philip to kind of help whip everybody back into shape. He's a restaurant consultant and he's good at what he does, but he's a little tough to deal with. And the people who had been working there, they did not want to deal with Philip. So that just made things go left, and it's just hilarious to watch. Plus the Old Lady Gang and their commentary all day long is hilarious.
Definitely. It definitely seems like an OG versus the newbies. I mean, how do you deal with conflict in the workplace?
Oh my goodness. I try, with everybody that works at the restaurant, I try to be understanding. I'm a little bit more like, they're going through some things. Let's give them another chance. That's me. But Todd, he's like, they got to go. Cut them. Let's move on. And I'm like, we can't fire everybody.
Right. Is it hard mixing business and family sometimes?
Of course.
Yeah.
Just dealing with, especially with my mom and my aunts, because they feel like they run things. They feel like nobody can tell them what to do. They should be able to say whatever they want to say to people. And I'm like, it doesn't work like that.
Right. And then it seems like dating relationships between staff members kind of come to a head this season. How do you feel about that? Do you condone that? Or is that like a no-no on the list?
Well, it's actually, you can get fired for it in our rule book. So you're not supposed to do it, but obviously it's going on. But for me, I kind of feel like a hypocrite because Todd and I met on the job. And I just feel like, okay, well, maybe they found love. And Todd is like, no, one of them will have to go. We're going to have to separate them or something. So I don't know.
How do you feel that people may compare, like I said before, may compare this to a little bit to a Vanderpump? How do you feel about that?
I'm sure they're going to try to compare us just because it's two restaurant situations, but we are totally different. It's a night and day difference in, how we act here in Atlanta. Atlanta is a whole different vibe. And plus, it's like ours is a mixture of family with the restaurant. And that just changes the whole game.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like, even though there's going to be conflict and drama, that everybody that works there seems like it's like a family environment. Would you say that?
I would definitely say that because some of them, the ones who have been there for a long time, you start to think of them like family. Yeah. So it is definitely family, but just like families, we bump heads sometimes.
What was more challenging, filming this or Housewives?
Oh, Housewives. The reason why I said that is because, on this show, it's really more about the people that work at the restaurant and my family than it is me. Like, I'm on it, but it's not as focused on my personal life as Real Housewives. On the Real Housewives, oh my gosh, this season, Marlo and I really bumped heads. So it was a lot happening, throughout the show, dealing with the girls. But I did love the fact that this season, everybody did try to work on having better, building actual friendships season. And, they just really brought it this year. So I had to give it to the girls. This new season of Real Housewives is going to be great. So I'm excited because I'm going from Kandi and the Gang is about to come out. And then I'm sure Real Housewives is coming out soon after. So it's like back to back.
Right.
On TV.
Kandi's taken over. I love it. Did you give any of the people on the show, the workers in the restaurant, did you give them any advice going into shooting? Because obviously you're a pro at this. No,
we really didn't give them much advice. And that's because Don Juan said that we needed to just allow them to be them and not overthink it. So we didn't try to tell anybody anything. They're their complete and authentic selves, which makes it a better show.
Right. I'm sure you're probably sitting back at times being like, oh no, this is not going to be a good look for you.
Right. Yeah, there are. I've already been saying to myself, like, some of them are going to be mad when the film comes out.
Definitely. But was it nice for you to kind of not take a back seat, because obviously you're like in the show so much, but to let other people kind of, handle the drama a little bit?
Yes. Well, it's not even just about the drama. I just love the fact that they're able to shine, and the light is on them now. For so long, I have aunts and my mom, and I have some cousins that work there. So they're all in the show, and they've been supporting me for so long. My whole life I've had them having my back. And so it's like now they get to shine, and I really am excited about that. And I'm excited about, things that are happening for the staff. So I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely. And like you said, you and Marlo kind of go at it this season. What was your reaction when you found out that she was finally getting her peach?
I was happy. That's the crazy thing. I was the main one saying that Marlo should get a peach. I kept telling everybody that. And so when she got her peach, I was excited for her. I was not expecting for me and her to bump heads. That was the last thing I was expecting.
I know you can't tell me exactly like what happened and things like that, but would you say that this may be one of the biggest conflicts that you've had over the course of your season?
Well, if you can roll back to when she first came on the show, was that like season 4 or somewhere around there? She and I bumped heads then. So it was similar to that, but a little worse.
A little worse. And then, how was the dynamic different this season without Cynthia and Porsha?
That's another thing. Okay, so when we got ready to start the season, I was a little nervous because I'm like, okay, we're losing 2 peaches that are very important to the franchise or whatever. I'm like, how is that going to go? But when I tell you, no diss to them, this season is going to be way better than the last few, I would say. It's a really, really good season, and I'm excited for people to watch.
Definitely. What was your reaction when Cynthia and Porsha both announced that they were leaving the show?
I was disappointed. I was disappointed because I was just thinking that, that we would all, be able to rock another season together. But, everybody has to do what's best for them. Portia's, moving on in her life, and she had her own show. So she was doing her thing. And then Cynthia's doing so much. She got movies coming out. She's, doing her thing, just got off of Celebrity Big Brother. So they both are doing a lot. And so I'm happy for them. But yeah, I was a little disappointed at first, but I feel like everything happens for a reason, because it really allowed for this new season to totally change and bring on new players and make the show different than it's been in a while. And we needed that, really.
Yeah. Needed to change it up a little bit. What's your relationship like with Porsha? I know that she congratulated you on Kandi and the Gang, and obviously you guys have had plenty of ups and downs over the years, but what's the status of your friendship now?
We're in a good place. Actually, I just talked to her. Was it yesterday? We sent each other a text, just reaching out. She has a birthday coming up for her little baby. So beautiful. It's her birthday coming up. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go, but I'm going to get somebody to take Blaze so that she can be there supporting and giving being a part of the party. So I'm excited, to still be there for her, even though she's not on the show.
Definitely. How's Blaze doing?
Oh, Blaze is doing great.
Yeah.
My baby girl is 2 years old. She's got plenty of attitude. She's a future housewife in the making.
I love that so much. And then like, how does your relationship with Todd differ when you're filming Housewives as opposed to Kandi and the gang? Is it less stress on your relationship one versus the other?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's definitely less stress as far as, you know, I just feel like with Housewives, it's always really intense, you know. Like I said, it was stressful to me with the whole argument with Marlo and we were saying things that was very below the belt at each other. Like we was throwing some really low blows. Let me just say that. And I just feel like, you know, moments like that, you can go back and you be like, regret things, you know, and I'm not really good for having regrets. But, you know, you do feel bad about certain things that you said. But on this show, because for Todd and I, it's not really the burden of being in our personal lives, being on Kandi in the gang. That burden is on the staff and my aunts. Like the show is not just about the restaurant. It's about their lives outside the restaurant as well. It's more about their lives. Now I'm in it because some of them are my family. So, you know, I deal with those situations, but I don't have to like worry about them being in my personal business every day.
That is nice. That is nice. Do you have any relationship with Nene anymore? I mean, I know it's been a minute since she's been on the show, but have you guys been in touch?
No, Nene and I don't really talk that often. I did reach out to her when, unfortunately, Greg passed. I did reach out at that time, but we haven't really talked since then. Yeah.
And I mean, you've been a staple on the Housewives for so many years, and we absolutely love you. But how much longer do you want to do this? Do you see yourself doing this for, you know, for as long as like you possibly can?
Yeah, I think so. It's so funny. People ask me that all the time. They're like, why do you do it? But it feels like it has become a part of my life now. Like at this point, I've filmed 13 seasons. Like when I came in on season 2, and that was season 14 that we just wrapped. So it's 13 seasons of my life. And I've met my husband on the show. I have my kids on the show. You've seen Riley grow up on the show. And so I just feel like, I had some really bad moments. I'm not gonna lie, but I've had some great moments as well. And I've been able to connect with people all around the world because of the show. So for me, Bravo really allows me to still do other things that I'm passionate about outside the show. Like I'm on the Shy, you know, I do movies, I do other things. So I'm like, as long as I'm able to do both, especially now that I have Kandi and gang, I'm like, I'm going to keep doing it.
Of course, as you should. Yeah, I love it so much. Are you working on any new music?
Yes. That's another thing that I feel like I hadn't been doing as much music over the last few years or whatever, but I miss it. Yeah. I do miss it. So,
I know. I love when you posted, I think it was a few weeks ago, about the No Scrubs reunion. And I was like, oh my God, this song is still one of my favorites of all time.
I'm glad you like it. I love that song. That song has been a gift for me. Like, you know how you write something, well, you're part of something and you don't realize how big it's going to be in your life and how it could change things for you completely. That song changed the game for me, and I would have never known it when we first did it.
Yeah, definitely. And then, you know, just a little family talk. I mean, how is everybody in the family doing? I know we talked about Blaze before, but, you know, how are the kids doing and everything like that?
They're doing amazing. Riley's still at NYU in New York, so she's doing really good at school. Then you have Kayla. She's up there in New York as well. She's working for a TV network and doing production. Then Ace, he's living his best life. He's 6 years old now. He's really great at school. He's great at everything. He's going to be that dude always growing up.
I love that. Any more kids in the future? Or you
no?
That's a hard pass.
You're good. No, because Blaze, that's my baby girl, but she has taught me something. My first 2 kids, like, they were chill. Like, I never experienced, you know, the kid that falls out at the store or falls out in front of everybody. You're like, ooh, why are that kid over there screaming out? And that's how Blaze does me sometimes. I'm like, girl, you're embarrassing me.
I love it so much.